In this next session, we will talk about, before the break, we will talk about two things. We will talk about digital autonomy. We explained the merger and what merger could mean, and I'm sure that Melania or Michael, you have an interesting comment to do about that. And we will talk about the fact that when you demerge, and this morning we had the private equities, private equities sometimes acquire some assets, and how do you deal with the Treasury? And the second topic we will address is to talk about what SAP is also doing and developing. And I guess, I think that you have a video to show us to explain the video and how you, let's say, consider and think about the future for corporate treasury. So maybe let's start by a very short introduction. So Melania, could you introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm leading the Treasury Advisory team in SAP. That means everything that relates to give the good news to the customers about what we have in SAP Treasury. That's the role of me and my team. So this is what we do. We only look at the Treasury and breathe and do think around it, yeah.
And so in the second part of this presentation, you will give us some insight about what SAP is developing.
Yeah, so it's a lot of hype, right? What is AI and what concretely it means. So here is, we will give what it means, what we are working on, and to demystify it a bit, yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah, especially with the private and public cloud solutions, I guess, something that also make SAP Treasury more accessible, even for customers that are not necessarily using SAP as main ERP.
Correct, and this will do for many, many examples that we see, and also to show to people how easy it is and give more confidence on that, yeah.
Okay. Michael, INTENSUM, tell us about you and your company.
So my name is Michael Diet. I'm from INTENSUM. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I'm very happy to be here today with Melania from SAP to participate to the Treasury Tech Day organized by ATEL. For the one who doesn't know INTENSUM yet, INTENSUM, we are an independent and specialized advisory firm and SAP partner as well. So we are based in Luxembourg and in Belgium, from where we are doing project implementation across Europe and even further. We exist since 2005, so almost 20 years now, and we are focusing on optimization of and transformation of finance and treasury process, improving analytics and reporting, and using innovative technology such as SAP S/4HANA. The topic of today, before.
Maybe I can give a few comments. So the idea, we wanted to talk, and unfortunately, we wanted to talk about a specific case study, but Sanofi was not able to come. But I think it's a very interesting story we really like, because a lot of companies are, let's say, reshaping their businesses. They try to spin off some companies. Recently in Belgium, it was Solvay, divided in two companies. Why? Because 1 + 1 could make more than 2 in terms of market cap. And also to separate the business, because for the investor, it's quite important to know if you are a chemical company or pharmaceutical companies. We know that all the pharmaceutical companies of this world are selling gradually the healthcare business. And we knew for a while that Sanofi was considering, okay, shall I do the same as the other competitors? But what was quite interesting in the approach is the fact that they think before selling the asset, what should we do? Because we don't know what will be the exit. What shall we do to make sure that the asset will be equipped in terms of treasury, in terms of ERP also? Because as soon as you sell the asset, you don't take care anymore, you don't pay the license anymore, so you are a bit naked. So no treasury, no company financing. Maybe you have your bank accounts, but you have no credit facility. So all this kind of thing. And so what I like in this approach, and Michael will give us some insight, that Sanofi decided to take the other round, and because we know that the acquirer are PE in general, and we are in Luxembourg, the second largest place for PE. This morning we had a session with LPEA, the Private Equity Association of Luxembourg. These guys are the main acquirer of assets, and for them it could be a different story if you have a company that is fully autonomous in terms of treasury, rather than having a company that could be bundled with others with no treasury at all. So maybe could you explain briefly and show with few slides what was the approach of this Chloe I remember one.
Yeah. So before to start, I just would like to thank Sanofi allowing me to share with you some information about this initiative and this project, and especially how the Treasury core model they built can be a value creator in a business carve-out context. So probably some of you read on the press, Sanofi announced end of 2023, they want to separate the consumer healthcare business from biopharma business in order to focus more on innovative medicine and vaccine products. So the objective was to create two entities, better equipped, but as well to unlock the full growth potential as non-pharma business. So in this context, Sanofi, with who we are working since a couple of years, asked us to help, and especially on how to achieve this digital and functional autonomy. So our starting point was the Treasury model they built to achieve this autonomy. Just to explain a bit the context, a few years ago, Sanofi decided to launch an ambitious program to build a Treasury core model. And the objective was to start from a blank page. So we started by redesigning. The landscape of Sanofi was quite scattered. Processes were not harmonized. So they decided to review everything and to redesign all local and central treasury process. So we came at the end with 48 local and central treasury processes that were covering three types of entities: central treasury and local treasury center, of course, centralized affiliate and non-centralized affiliate. And one of the objectives of this core model was as well to build one single integrated platform, of course, connected for the group, connected with finance, and benefiting from the latest technology. And in this case, it was S4HANA Treasury. So the core model has been deployed on the group, and I will try to explain you how this core model could be a value creator for the carve-out projects. So at the start of the project, we tried to define what is for us the success factor for towards this autonomy. The first one is, of course, the timing. We need to be prepared for digital and functional autonomy, but we don't know when it will happen. Okay? So that means we need a strong project management. We need to involve all departments, but we need to have as well a very strong cutover plan in order to be ready. But when they will give us the go, we need to be ready in a few months.
Because the timing and the form of exit was not known at that time.
No, that was not known. But we had to receive a green line from management, and after this green light, we had 6 months to have the system fully autonomy and having the full functional autonomy before the loss of control. But the second point is you have to choose your option. You can sell it naked. You can implement a new treasury system. But due to the fact that Sanofi already rationalized all process, defined a core model, the option chosen was to clone the central platform. Change management is also key. You have the same team who need to run 2 businesses at the same time in maybe 2 platforms. And in parallel, you need to onboard a new organization, a new CHC organization to take over this business. And of course, you need system and technology. You need the right technology in order to ensure that you can do a streamlined, seamless detachment and a rapid reconfiguration, reconnection in order to do this autonomy. So the journey of the CHC autonomy has been done in 3 main phases. The first one was to set the foundation. On the central platform, we did a carve-in of the CHC business by creating new legal entity and deploying the core model on those entities. So due to the fact that we had already a core model with harmonized process, this has been an accelerator in order to deploy processes on those new entities. The second step was to achieve a digital autonomy. And for that, we did a clone of the central platform with some, I would say, resizing, or we look at as well on the market new technology. For example, we have not reconducted the heavy direct SWIFT connectivity of Sanofi, and we decided to go for a cloud bank connectivity platform in order to be more agile. But of course, the clone of the central treasury platform, we were reusing the same tool, the same process. So we limit the dyssynergies and to ensure the reduced operational risk, in fact.
But you have also used this, let's say, case study to test new things, a sort of sandbox or a lab to test a new.
Yeah,
SWIFT.
In fact,
this
was also a laboratory to test new technologies,
okay,
and to see if that could be applicable later on for Sanofi.
Okay, so it has also high value for the
indeed.
Headquarters for the future.
Yeah, indeed. And after the third phase is the transition to the functional autonomy upon the loss of control. Mm-hmm. So we create a new holding company playing the role of central treasury, and we start to progressively activate the treasury centralization. And we are, at this point, preparing the cutover in order to have the loss of control that will happen.
But functionally, it means also two teams, so
currently the Sanofi team is onboarding the new CHC team, but Sanofi team is still involved in running operation on both platforms, and progressively we'll try to...
because now the exit has been announced, make a big fuss in France because of Doliprane, we know the story, but apart from that, so it's something that is up and running. And
but it's quite difficult. The full team is not already on board. So
I saw also that it's a P who acquired at least part of the share. So what is important and what is the value for the acquirer to have this kind of process in place?
The acquirer has already the latest technology, because Sanofi before the clone did an upgrade to the latest version in order to have a future-proof solution to give. Process have been simplified, harmonized. We try to take the opportunity of the digital autonomy to look at new opportunities with new technology. So I would say the system is ready for further initiative, additional rollout or acquisition also. Okay.
It's a quite unique approach. Let's be honest. In the market, I've not very often companies being so well prepared before an exit.
Yeah. So just graphically to explain you the core model that we had at Sanofi and the clone that we did. The approach that you had two approaches regarding the clone and the data. It's a selective data transfer. You decide what you transfer on the clone, or you transfer everything and you do a deletion of the Sanofi data in the cloud platform. This was also a kind of challenge because you need to do several exercises in order to be sure that you delete what you have to delete and you don't delete too much, and that processes are still running. Yeah. So to conclude, we try as well to assess if the Treasury core model had a value in this autonomy, and we define three axes. For sure, the Treasury core model has been an enabler to accelerate this autonomy, because everything was already for fast deployment, no dyssynergy because both platforms were still connected together. We are using the same process, so it's easier and faster. This has as well a point in terms of cost, because we are not re-implementing a new treasury management system for the clone. A facilitator, of course, because we need to transition this system to the new treasury organization. And of course, we are leveraging the Sanofi treasury team expertise in order to train and to onboard the new team in the system. Okay, so this was a facilitator, and an accelerator means that we have now CHC as a platform ready, up to date with latest technology in order to start other initiatives.
And what were the challenges for you in this project? What was the major issue you faced?
As I said, we changed the bank connectivity. So it's quite a large perimeter around the world. So we had to do a big bang of all banks, all countries, all payment type in one weekend. So it was intensive testing to reconnect 20 banks and different type of specificities. That's one big point. The second one, as I mentioned, to be sure that we don't delete too much.
Yeah, that has.
So we had to do several exercises, and we discovered that we were deleting too much, and we have to restart. And the third one is I would say, is the cutover plan for the loss of control, because we know that we need to be ready in few months, but we cannot activate everything for the moment because customer healthcare are still centralized with Sanofi SA. But we will have to build, and the cutover is not only technical, digital, it's also all departments. So there is a big exercise that we are doing since months in order to have a strong cutover in order to
Treasury is just part of it.
Yeah, indeed.
But it's an interesting case study, and so I'm happy to see that it was quite successful and to see the value, because I think it's also a big question depending on the acquirer. You can sell it, but if you sell something that is more autonomous and independent, I'm sure it has value for the acquirer. So maybe just to move to you, Melania. So what are the news at SAP? What are you working on? So we discussed last year about private and public cloud solution, and one Luxembourg companies having implemented your system. I think it's quite interesting, and SAP tried to, let's say, onboard even non-SAP customers. Could you talk about that and what you are working on, knowing that we will talk about AI in a later session with Emmanuel and Angela? But what are the news? What are the future SAP is considering and contemplating for us?
Okay, so we will let AI later.
Yeah.
That's something for sure to discuss too. Yeah, I think in this kind of mergers, acquisitions, but also on the carve-outs, or on the big businesses that also want to keep separate some parts of the business or LFBs because of these constant mergers, acquisition things, it's very often that the public cloud comes as a topic, because what means public cloud, and this is maybe wanted to give few words, because for the treasurer usually it's IT driven, if it's cloud, non-cloud, whatever, because you will get a treasury system. But when it's up to understand, okay, what would be the benefits of public cloud for this merger acquisition carve out, or as a mid-market that you just want to put your feet in and see how quickly you can ramp up and how quickly you can get onboarded. This is where we wanted to say that we made like huge steps on this to say we offer you a box. In 3 days, you're up and running to test out best practices upon activation. What means best practices? It means that SAP prepared, availably ready, go to a process life cycle in Treasury, because Treasury management system exists since 40 years. With continuously roadmap, updating, doing best of, but it's already so many years, right? So what we did is customer asked to be simple. In 3 days, I'm up and running, I test the process, I see how it works. So this is what we did, is best practices. You're up to test and see how it works. Then you have your business specific, because you're unique, everyone is unique. You see what you need to adapt. And then they also, customers ask, make banking as a service, make it that you, as SAP, you can do it together with the banks, that you will ramp up, you will do this for us, you can make it work. So it's not anymore a struggle or a project, but it's a plug and play. So we made bank connectivity as a service, which of course is embedded in your cash, which of course is their full visibility with your business, because now it's about Treasury leading a bit with this finance digital transformation, because they have full visibility as a lighthouse for the business, where they need to see everything, what represents a cash event, and take action on. So this will change as well. And then, of course, when you're in SAP house, analytics and reporting is something in the backbone of the solution, and is just discover for the treasurer how it works, what you can do with it and play. Then, of course, is the topic of how you get integrated, and it's the API. But if APIs are not committed, both sides of the story, then it's still a project, and it's still for you to interface. There is still a server connection. There is still security things. That's not committed. If it's not committed, it's not plug and play. It's still a project. What we did is, at least with SAP and externally for banking, trading, and so on, to have committed on both sides how we offer the standard. And that standard is fluid, and that standard should not be a project, but should be a setting. I activate, I go, I play. So that's something that the customer asks, because guys, you have this. Why you don't do it for us? So of course, being so pressed out by the customers that ask and not just waited but pushed, then of course it can happen, because the technology is there. The technology is there for other topics too. It's just how you do it in an elegant way for the customer.
Again, we will talk about AI later on, but and Jules, because it's quite impressive what you are able to do. But another thing I would like you to maybe briefly touch upon is the BTP platform. So you also welcome other solution. Could you just give us a word about that? And so, what is your approach?
Yeah, I think SAP need to come up with uniform approach into how we connect with external world. For us, it's important banking, trading, market data, working capital, so many things.
Solution,
but also for the organization, they want to be ready also for other type of connections and other type of platform. How to do that in a way that, yeah, you cannot use an SFTP server that is 40 years old. I mean, you have to come up with something that ensure like cohesive into what means security, modern, how it works, how it's real time, and everything to be cohesive and not to have. So this is where BTP, Business Technology Platform, came into play. That is a cloud connector thing where from there the customer have one place on how to connect.
So it can give comfort to the customer that all the companies, let's say, onboarded by SAP are, let's say, fitting, matching interfaces are possible, and it's already a guarantee for the customer that there is a certain degree of control from your side. So I guess it's quite interesting.
Yeah, that's in simple terms. Of course, for the IT passionates, we can go in. But on simple terms, yeah. That is the common approach, yeah.
That's the approach. So I think it's now time to close the session. I don't know if you have a final comment or a word or a tip, because we were discussing about the IT Treasury strategy. So you are both specialists. Any tip or takeaways you want to give to the delegates?
That you can start simple. That just go ahead and check out best practices and see how easy it is to, because you're managing huge portfolios, you're managing huge complexity. Just to start with something which is called best practices will be easy for you. So a little bit to make it that won't be such a complex thing, but it's always what is complex about is your own, what differentiate your own local needs, your own business specific, and how you translate that, because that makes you unique.
Yeah. It was a former comment. I think it's try to know yourself before launching project, but also try to avoid it. It's a trend I've noticed in our members across Europe. Try to, let's say, overestimate the complexity of your business or the unicity of your business, because a lot of companies say that our business is more complicated than others. It's so specific. They forget that the complexity is everywhere, and so the others have similar issues. But and sometimes oversight the solution because of the, let's say, overestimate of the current stage. Michael, any comment or tips? Because you are also an integrator, so you know this kind of project.
Yes. But yeah, like Melania said, we don't do project as we were doing 10 years ago. So everything has to be fast, everything has to be out of the box. In fact, SAP has changed completely their strategy, saying that they have digital core functionalities, but they are opening the door to additional services through this business technology platform, which is quite important. And any partner can play a role and develop services that the customer can access and activate and use for their business. So it's another model as a SAP integrator compared to what we were doing a long time ago. Yeah.
Thanks a lot for this interesting comments. So it's time to have a break of half an hour. Take time to network, to visit the booths, and to discuss with the supplier if you have any question. Thanks a lot, and see you in 30 minutes.